Okay. All right, there we go. All right. Hey, Facebook, good morning. This is Kyle Gerardo again at the kitchen counter. And today, as I said, we are here with Pastor Michael Horne, who is a very good friend of mine, as well as a spiritual leader here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I was very happy to... Thanks for coming first, though, Pastor. Appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Appreciate you. I know you have a busy schedule, especially on today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, normally Mondays and Tuesdays, I know for you are probably really busy right after church because you got all those phone calls, emails, and whatnot to return.
A lot of administrative stuff, a lot of paperwork, and a lot of reaching back to some people and talking to people, making sure people are okay, and kind of setting my schedule for the week.
For the week, for the rest of the week, right?
That's right.
Plus getting that time at home.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's definitely important. Well, we're not going to prolong things, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to get right to some business here with Pastor. And I gave Pastor a few questions that I was going to ask him, and then I'm going to hit him with a few quick ones at the very end, and we'll kind of go from there. But Pastor, just because some people out here that know me may not know you, how long have you been a pastor, and where's your church? Tell us a little bit about your church.
My name is Pastor Michael Horne. My co-pastor is Pastor Wanda Horne. I've been pastoring over 8 years. Our church is Believers International Church in the great city of Arlington, Texas. Our address is 2001 East Division Street, Suite 119. The zip code is 76011. So we've been in Arlington since '95, and we've been pastoring over 8 years. It's been a blessing. You know, you got your ups and downs, but overall, it's good.
Good. Mm-hmm. You said your co-pastor was Wanda Horne, so tell us about that special relationship with your co-pastor.
Well, co-pastor Wanda Horne, and she's going to be promoted to prophetess Wanda Horne. She's my wife. She's my support system. She's my backbone. I'm kind of quiet. She's the opposite. So we balance out each other. I thank God for her because she really labors with the women of God, the women, the young women, the daughters, to help them get to their purpose and destiny in God. So it's a blessing to work alongside your wife.
Right.
Yes.
That's really nice. I actually met Wanda before I met you, right? Mm-hmm. She and I used to work together a long time ago. So for a long time, for many years, I knew him as Michael Horne, and then I got the word that they were pastoring and whatnot, and it was several years before we actually met together underneath that umbrella.
Yes.
But thank God we have, and they're doing a great work over there. Pastor, I believe you were out of town during the initial Dallas shooting.
Right.
That really great day. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing, if you were on business, and when you got that word, what were you thinking? What were your first reactions?
We were actually on our way to the airport to Baltimore, Maryland, and we was going to conference, and we started getting the news and everything that was going on. And when I first heard it, I was, in shock like everyone else. I was, oh no. And so our response is, of course, as believers, is to pray. And in the process of praying, you're kind of waiting to get more information. And as things were starting to unfold, and we were on the flight, and when we got to the hotel in Baltimore, we was on watching CNN and getting the updates and everything. And so I felt that it was definitely a great day in the city of Dallas. I felt that in the midst of everything that's going on, I believe that some heroes has arisen. I believe that some people have came to the forefront that's going to help the city in healing. We saw the Potter's House, Bishop Jakes, we saw pastors come together. And I was telling people in Baltimore that Dallas is a spiritual city in which, we're going to respond spiritual. And so they saw, I had the opportunity to see how other people was responding or watching Dallas. So I believe that it was a horrible situation. It was uncalled for. And the thing about it, Carl, is you had the situation in Dallas, and you had the situation in Baton Rouge. And social media is revealing everything, and people process things different. This particular guy in Dallas, he was in the military. The person in Baton Rouge, they were in the Marines. So we're seeing stuff on social media. Us normal people, we can process it and keep it moving. But some people process it with a different mindset to the point they feel they got to respond.
Right.
And they're not healthy enough to handle certain things that are being leaked on social media. I'm not saying we shouldn't leak it, because I think that as a result of people capturing what's happening on the street level, that there's going to be some change. However, we have people that respond different, and these particular people responded with actions. They was trained, they knew what to do.
Right.
So not only them, but you have other people that made these particular things that we're seeing on social media is obviously triggering episodes in the minds of certain people to make them respond the way they respond.
Right, right. I totally agree. I totally agree. Now, and you almost got a little ahead of me there, but I'm glad you didn't go there, because
Okay.
I have something else I want to ask you in regards to that. But when you first heard the news, was there something, because you were headed out of town, was there something that you immediately wanted to do or be able to do that you weren't able to because you were on the go?
The first thing I wanted to do was cancel my trip.
Really?
I wanted to cancel my trip. I felt, we have a radio station on the air on Thursdays and Fridays. A lot of callers call in.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do the radio show from the airport.
Okay.
So the announcements was coming through the flights, coming on the microphone. But I noticed when I was doing the radio show that a lot of people were grieving.
Right.
And they wanted some prophetic insight to what was going on. So my first response was to cancel the trip.
Okay.
But I couldn't, because we had already had arrangements.
Obligations.
And yeah, so I'll just pray and just kind of stay in tune with what was going on.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. I think a lot of people probably felt the same way, who were leaving the city at that particular time, that maybe I should just stay here. You never know how bad it's going to be. I know during 2001, 9/11,
Yes.
I was in Austin. I was in Austin working for about 2 weeks, and I rented a car and drove back home to be with my family, because I didn't know what was going on. And I just had to be back with my family to see, because we didn't know if this was a world war starting or whatever. So I can definitely understand how you might want to do that. Now, this is the thing, you were almost going to jump the gun on me. Now that Baton Rouge was targeted, okay, another vicious attack by police officers on police officers, killing 3 of them. What are you thinking now? We had the Dallas incident, and then here it is, maybe 3-4 days later, a week later, here is the incident in Baton Rouge. What are you thinking? What were your first thoughts?
Well, you have a lot of people that are saying things. You have, from my understanding, this particular person was of the Nation of Islam. He was a follower of them. And when you have an orator like Farrakhan, in which his response, and you can go online and see his responses, is violence. And so there's an example of a particular person that's listening to another individual of how they should respond to what's going on. This person was from Kansas, wasn't even in Baton Rouge. He came into that area and did that particular damage. It lets me know that prophetically that it's not over. These people were planning this event, the event that happened in Dallas. It was just the right opportunity because all of those cops was in that location, but this guy had been planning that for a while. So what we're going to have to do is change our tone and offer solutions immediately, because there could be other people planning something as we speak.
Right.
You just never know. So like the president said, hey, you got to watch what you're saying in this time. You got to be careful. We have the Republican National Convention that's going on. We have a lot of people that are speaking. We had a pastor jumps up and he says, Democrats are the enemy. Well, we're all Americans. This is not the time to point out an enemy, because you never know who's going to be targeted. So we have to change our tone, because we're dealing with individuals that respond differently.
Okay. I totally agree with that. In your opinion, as a spiritual leader, what do you think we need to do as a nation? And I say we as a nation, what do you think we need to do? What initiatives would you like to see in place if you had the ear of the elected officials, either city officials, state officials, government officials? What initiatives would you like to see in place to start bringing some cohesiveness and some solidarity in our nation today?
Well, my position, I'm a pastor, I'm a father, I'm a spiritual leader,
A black man.
and I'm a black man. And I understand the disenfranchisement that our people go through. I've been stopped by a policeman. I've been thrown into a police car. And what we have now on the street level, Carl, we have a generation of young black men that don't know how to get arrested, when you have an older generation of black men that knew how to get arrested. Back in the days, our position was to keep the cop calm. Now, you know, the cop is they're arresting a generation that's not obedient. Lift your hands. Why? Why I lift my hands? Get out of my car. Why I got to get out of my car? Do this, do that. They're questioning everything,
Right.
and it's irritating the policeman,
It's
and
challenging.
they're grabbing them. Versus back in the days when the cop came, we was already like this.
Yeah,
we was already, you know, sir,
That
hey.
is so true.
You
That
know,
is
so
true.
this generation does not know how to get arrested.
Right.
Even the young, even the Caucasian males, they're getting tased and hitting the floor.
Now, is that a good thing, Pastor? In a way, and I'm playing devil's advocate right here because I'm just asking. Is that a good thing that they don't take, the young people today don't take the gruff and the disenfranchisement, like we did the outward racism? Is it good that they fight back
I think
in certain situations?
in certain situations, this is what I believe. I believe that because of the needless casualties on the street level, I believe in a spiritual way that God has allowed certain things to surface so that things can be dealt with.
Right.
And the cops have to understand this generation that we're living in. Now, we lived over in South Arlington where there are policemen that saw my children at the elementary level, at the junior high level, at the high school level. Why? Because they came to the games, the football games, the basketball games. So we knew the cops. We knew the Davenports. We knew those particular cops that worked in our community.
Right.
So when the cops would see certain young men, then they knew their parents. And so when they say, hey, they stopped that particular person, that individual knew that cop.
Right.
So that individual wouldn't run, and that cop wouldn't dare hurt that parent's child.
Right.
He know that child has drifted away. He know that he has good parents. So his approach was, hey man, what you doing? What's going on? It was for the betterment of that individual. But when you have people that have come out of the military joining the police force, they're traumatized. They've seen some stuff overseas. They don't know the kids in the community. They don't respect the kids in the community. They only been on the force 3 and 4 years when the other police officers have raised our children.
So there's, in your opinion, then there's no investment.
There's no investment. And I think that what has to happen is the police chiefs or departments have to look at the social impact that's happening with the cops connected to the community.
Right.
The cops have to see themselves as a protector in the community. I believe that if a police officer has been raised and is on the beat in that community for over 10 years, I believe that he should say, if somebody new comes into that community, he needs to be educated on the people in that community. You don't view these people as criminals or as victims or nothing like that. This is this person. So I think that before a cop retires or leaves or gets promoted, the cops that's coming into that community needs to be updated on what's going on, who's who. And that can be done.
Sure.
You just don't take somebody fresh out the military, fresh out of Afghanistan, give them a badge, throw them in the community, and then they just go get loose, and,
Right.
and they're treating people like they're the enemy from another country or something.
That leads me to my next question. And my next question was, given the background information that we know so far
Yes.
about the two shooters,
Yes.
both of them being young black men,
Yes.
under 30 years of age,
Yes.
both of them serving in the military,
Yes.
what does that say for people like us? What does that say about our military? Are we doing the best things for those people who we are putting back into society? What do you think that says about our military? Are there stones that need to be uncovered there as far as the treatment of our military personnel?
That's a good point, because what type of discrimination did they go through while being in the military?
That's one thing.
And so that could have a stain on their minds, that when they come out on the street level, they're already kind of thrown off a little bit. And so now you're seeing, because I know of certain people that have told me that there is racism in the military.
Oh, for years.
Yes, for years. So now they're on the street level, and look at what's happening. Look at what they're seeing. They're seeing people that are being that's shot, trying to obey, and they're being killed. So their response, I believe, Kyle, that it's causing triggers within them to be militant and to go out. Like the guy in Baton Rouge, he assassinated those cops.
Yes, yes.
He set them up. So that was already thought of. I think that